Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back. We have another kinetics at home travel workout. Remember, we're going to go over our prep, sweat, and breathe portion today. We'll offer some suggestions for scaling and modifying movements, as well as for how you can integrate equipment if you have some. As always, this is going to be based on really not needing much, if anything. You will need to figure out something for our rowing movement here if you don't have equipment, but you can easily use a backpack or a duffel bag or something that you might have around the house. So we'll talk about that, but let's get started. Prep portion today, 3 to 4 sets, a minute of mountain climbers, followed by 10 toe touch to squat, followed by 30 seconds per side, tall side plank. So first thing we have here are mountain climbers. We're gonna get into a good tall plank position here, put top of a push-up, okay? And I can just run in place, right? Driving these up towards my elbows. There's a lot of variations. We've shared a link on this before. You can bring the knees to the outside, inside. If you live in an apartment building or you're staying in a hotel and you're over the top of someone working out in your room, you wanna be polite because maybe it's 5, 6, 7 in the morning. You don't wanna wake people up. You can really easily just turn this into a nice controlled movement where I'm flexing through the midsection, pulling that knee up as high as I can for 1 minute, okay? So a lot of ways that you can adjust this and a lot of creative ones on some of the links that we've shared in the past. If you're feeling froggy, you're really good with bodyweight movements, look some of those up. Our toe touch to squat. So you're gonna start from a standing position and we're just gonna reach down to the toes, anchor our fingers underneath, pull ourselves into the bottom of our squat. From here, either back into that hinge and up, or pull yourself down here and up, okay? A couple different options there to play around with. If you do have a kettlebell or a dumbbell and you feel like loading this up on the second and third set, by all means, you can turn this into kind of a modified Kang squat, where I'm gonna lower myself down into that hinge position, okay? Bring myself into a squat and then stand or back to that hinge. So a little bit of variation that you can mix in just based on what you have available to you. You don't need to add any load to this. Certainly do it with no body weight. You got 10 reps there. Then we go to our tall side plank. So tall just means we're gonna be up on the palm rather than the elbow. Side plank position, I want elbow stacked over the wrist, shoulder stacked over the elbow stacked over the wrist, and I'm here. Hand at my side. I can go hand above if I'd like. I can certainly hold a kettlebell or dumbbell in this position, okay? If I have that available and I want to challenge this a little bit more, maybe this is a pretty easy movement for me. So you can certainly do that. But you'll have 30 seconds on each side there. Once you complete 3 to 4 sets, we'll move on to our sweat piece. Today, our sweat piece is 4 to 6 sets, working at a grind pace. So again, not maximal, but tough, right? A 7 or an 8 out of 10 in terms of effort. Okay, first thing that we have is a chainsaw row. Now, this is the thing that you're gonna need some sort of equipment for. A band works great, kettlebell or dumbbell works great. You can use a bag, you can use a laundry detergent jug, or you can get real creative with this. Something that just, you need a handle, something you can grasp a hold of, okay? We're gonna get into this. I'm gonna show you with the band. I'm gonna stand on the band here. I'm gonna get into this kind of modified lunge position with the non-working arm. I like to brace it just inside my knee. And I'm gonna pull into that row position and actually rotate my chest away. Okay, so turning my back away a little bit. So it's rather than just being here, it's a little bit of thoracic movement on each of those. So I get that rotation here. If you don't have a lot of weight or resistance to add, you can slow the tempo way down. Okay, real slow and controlled. It's gonna make it a lot more challenging. The other thing that's really nice is you can give yourself 0 pauses on either end of that rep. So if I'm moving nice and slow here and I don't have a real heavy weight, but if I'm pretty strong, I can sit here and row right back into the next one, right back into the next one, right? So there's no pause and range of motion. I'm not sitting here catching my breath. So different ways that you can always, and it doesn't just go for this movement, just in general, if you're traveling and you're not able to bring a lot of weight with you, maybe you just have some bands or even just body weight, adding tempo, eliminating pause at end range of motion can add some difficulty into it for you. From there, we have our prone IYT. I'm gonna show you just kind of kneeling here at first, what we're doing. So I'll be laying on my belly. Prone means I'm laying down. I wanna turn my thumbs up, and as I'm laying down, I'm gonna lift my arms up like an I, bring them back down a couple inches towards the floor, go out to that Y position, lift them up, back down, T, lift them up. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna be doing, but I'm gonna be doing that here. So I'm squeezing my butt, I'm gonna arch the back a little bit, and I'm up, up, up. So again, if you have some light, maybe 1 or 2 pound or 3 pound dumbbells or plates or something like that, you can certainly use that, a soup can, whatever. You don't need to, right? Nice and controlled, squeeze those shoulder blades together, but we're hitting that I position, Y out at about a 45, and then our T out at 90 degrees, keeping the thumb up in all 3 positions. I, Y, T counts for 1 rep, okay? So you're doing 10 of those total. After that, Hindu push-up. So push-up variation here. If you can't do them, there's definitely some different options that we can throw in, but I'd like you to try it if you're pretty good with push-ups. So starting in that push-up position, I'm gonna push back into down dog, and I wanna drop my elbows towards the ground and up. So I'm almost pulling myself down into the bottom of that push-up position. So a little bit of a different movement. You can try this by elevating your hands a little bit, okay? Get up here with the bench. And again, kind of the same idea. I'm gonna come down and up. So get a little bit of tricep, okay? It feels a little bit different with the hands elevated, but I encourage you to try that. Don't rush through them if this is a new movement or it feels a little weird. Slow it down a little bit. And if that means you gotta do less reps, do less reps, cool? From there, we're gonna go into our alternating supine toe touch. So supine means on your back. Okay, so I'm laying on my back, hollow position, and I'm gonna reach opposite hand to opposite foot, nice and controlled. So I'm staying tight through my midsection the whole time on these, okay? Bringing that right hand to left foot, left hand to right foot. 10 total reps there, and we will cycle back to the chainsaw row. When it's all said and done, I complete my 4 to 6 sets. The last thing I have is my breathe portion. Eyes closed, deep diaphragmatic breathing. We always encourage extend this time and make it a little bit of a meditation session. Extend it to 10 or 15 minutes if you can, but at least get the 5 in, eyes closed. We're in a saddle pose. So with our saddle pose, we're gonna sit get in a kneeling position. Our feet are flat on the ground, okay? And I'm gonna reach back. If I can get myself all the way back to the floor and sit there and breathe and be relatively relaxed, great. Some of us are more flexible than others. I can't get all the way to the floor. The position I was just in is a nice stretch, but I have a hard time relaxing there. So I might grab a pillow, or in this case, a medicine ball, or something to support me so that I can then sit in that position, open up the chest, open up the hip flexors and quads, and actually breathe into that position, into that stretch. Okay, so find what works for you with that as far as support on your back. But don't skip it, okay? Get that 5 minutes in. Worst case scenario, if you can't get in that position at all, find a position that gets you stretching a little bit through the quads and hip flexors, and sit there and work on your breathing, okay? 5 minutes there, and then we are done for the day. Thank you, everyone. Good luck. Review the notes in the workout if you need any more explanations or videos of the specific movements. Thanks, guys.